Hello. And right before we get into this video, I have to address something, So, I've been saying that I'm little Timmy, but I think I've been getting it all wrong, I think that you're little Timmy. Okay, so let me explain. So, if you're a subscriber, you're what I call a little Timmy. Okay, so at the start of my videos, I'll say, hello, little Timmies. But if you're not subscribed, you're not a little Timmy. So make sure to like and subscribe if you want to be a little Timmy. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. So today we're going to be talking about the Lakers. And as you probably know, the Lakers have not been playing that well. They aren't seeded very high in terms of playoffs. They're currently the 8th seed, so they'd be last in the playoffs. They'd have to be in the play-in tournament right now, basically. And you could say one of those factors is Russell Westbrook, but it's a combination of things. Like Anthony Davis has been injured, hasn't been playing that well, stuff like that. But a lot of people are saying that you need to trade Russell Westbrook. So, the Lakers are trying to see, hey, can we trade anyone for Westbrook? Because by the looks of it, no one wants him. But there is one team who wants Russell Westbrook. And that is the Houston Rockets. Yes, the Houston Rockets, who already had him before in the 2019 to 2020 season when he was with James Harden and stuff. So that was only 2 seasons ago. They are the only team willing to take him back. So, if they were to make a trade with the Lakers, the person who they would probably trade is John Wall, who hasn't played at all this season. And him and Russell Westbrook both have, really bad contracts in the sense that it's a lot of money to pay for them. But, last season, John Wall averaged 20.5 points, 6.9 assists, 3 rebounds, and his 3-point shot, 31%, not that good. Field goal percentage, 40%, But he was on a Rockets team who was not that good at all, and he was just playing pretty decent, I'd say. I'd say he was playing decent. He only played 40 games, so it's not that many games, but it's a good enough sample size to show what John Wall would be like because he didn't play the 2019 to 2020 season with an injury, and then he played 32 games in the 2018 to 2019 season. And he's also not playing this season, not because of any injury, but because the Houston Rockets said he doesn't match up with the timeline because they have a bunch of young guys. So they said that they're just going to sit him on the bench, still pay him, and they're just going to have him on the bench until they could find someone to trade with. So I think that's the main reason they'd be willing to trade for Russell Westbrook, because they might trade for Russell Westbrook and then try to buy out Westbrook so that they wouldn't have to deal with that. Or they could try to trade John Wall for Westbrook and then maybe try to trade Westbrook for some sort of young guy. But if they're the only ones who want Westbrook or at least would be willing to take on Westbrook, I don't see how they'd be able to trade him. Or maybe they just want to get Westbrook on their team and then have him play really good to show that, oh, Westbrook is still good. It's just because, LeBron, the Lakers, the combination of him trying to be the third star, blah, blah, blah. So, and then if he could come into that team and then be decently efficient, average 24 points, and then everyone would be like, oh, okay, Russell Westbrook isn't that bad, and then get his value back up and then try to trade him for something else that was better than John Wall and could be a young guy. I can see the Rockets trying to do that. But from the Lakers standpoint, if it was John Wall for Russell Westbrook just straight up, I could see them doing that. I do think that John Wall is worse than Westbrook, but I do think that it's their only option. I don't think that they have anyone else that would want him, so they don't have another option. So I could see them making a trade for Russell Westbrook and then John Wall, like getting John Wall. And if he's 18 points, I could see John Wall being able to take a back seat to LeBron and AD, and I could see him fitting into that third option role better than Westbrook. So I do think there's a possibility that he could play better than Westbrook, like on the Lakers, because currently Westbrook's averaging 18.5 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds. It looks pretty good on paper, but if you were to watch their game, like the Lakers games, they're bad. Like he's averaging 4.2 turnovers a game, which compared to his other seasons is about the same. But when you're on a team like the Lakers and everyone's calling you out, you have to bring down your turnovers. But I think it's just he's been inefficient, has been turning the ball over, and hasn't been contributing to winning. So I could see the Lakers try to trade him for John Wall. And I do think that if they were to make that move, I think that that would be a win-win for both teams. Because John Wall and Russell Westbrook, I could see the Lakers being fine with John Wall. And then, as I stated previously, Westbrook, they might be able to get his value up, trade him for something better. So I would see this trade as a win-win. So let me know down in the comments below how you guys feel about that trade. And I also wanted to bring up the Bol trade, because the whole Bol situation, the trade got declined to go to the Pistons because he failed his health thing with his whole fitness check. I talked about that in a previous video. But he has been traded to the Boston Celtics. So he's officially off of the Denver Nuggets. And it was a 3-team deal involving the Nuggets, the Celtics, and the Spurs. But it wasn't really that big of a trade. That's why I'm not making a full video about it. Because it was Bul's going to the Celtics. Bryn Forbes is going to the Nuggets. And then it was just two other dudes. It's doesn't even matter. But all I really wanted to focus on was the Celtics and the Nuggets. And for the Nuggets, I think this is a really good trade for them. Just because before, they would have gotten Ronnie McGruder for Bol. And now they're getting Bryn Forbes, who's a shooter. And as you know, Denver Nuggets, the team don't really have that much shooters, So adding Bryn Forbes to that team will help with that, I think. Just off the bench, just shooting off the bench. And Bol wasn't getting that much minutes anyways. So hopefully the Nuggets will bring in Bryn Forbes and he can play a decent amount of minutes. And then for the Celtics, trading Bryn Forbes, he was a shooter, but the Celtics haven't been all that good this year, the 8th seed. So I could see them trying to get Bol. I hope that Bol doesn't turn into a Taco Fall for the Celtics, because the Celtics and the Nuggets are in the exact same situation where it's they're both trying to compete, but they're top, they're 6th seed and the 8th seed. So they're not really competing for anything for different reasons, but it's it's not in a situation like the Pistons where Bol could have gone to before, where it's he could have gone there and then developed. So I'm pretty sure for Bol this sucks, because it's probably going to be the same situation as the Nuggets. So that sucks for Bol, but the Denver Nuggets got Bryn Forbes out of the deal, which I think is pretty good. So yeah, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to, and goodbye.